Hey everybody, it's Jamie from Dig It Homesteading and my lovely daughter, whichever side she's on. And it is December, which means it's time to start making Christmas candies. And we are excited to share with you some of our family's favorite Christmas candies, and then one we're going to try out with you guys as well. Some are easy, some are hard. It might be 70 degrees outside, but we're in our matching Christmas Grinch sweaters, can you see? So we might be very warm here in Texas, but we still have all the Christmas cheer to share with all of you who are far and near. What is that face? Anyway, some of these are trendy ones from a few years ago, and some are ones that have been in my family since I was little. If you've never made candies before, you can do some of these. If you've never done baking, you can still do these. So I encourage you to pick one or two of these recipes out and give it a try this year, and let me know how your family enjoys it. And we got to get out of these sweaters because we're hot. But we love them. Hopefully it'll be a little bit cooler so we can enjoy our Grinch sweaters. And if you haven't seen, we also have matching Grinch shoes. I'll link that other video so you can check out them. They're adorable! Anyway, let's get into these lovely candies. Okay, so for the first recipe, it is like simple, super easy. Everybody can do it. You can do it with your kids. Even the little ones, they can help with this project. And it's 3 ingredients. Some sort of pretzel, whatever kind of Rollos you want, and pecans. And we're gonna make Rollo chocolate turtles. And we've also got we'll show you the little modification sister made a couple of years ago that she likes instead of having the nuts on it as well. So check that out. She's very creative in the kitchen. I've highly encouraged her to be in the kitchen all of her life. And now you've been cooking actual dinner since you were like 10, weren't you? About 10 years old, she could cook the whole family a dinner. So get your kids in the kitchen and teach them. Even if you don't know, y'all get in there and learn together. Okay, so all you need is a cookie sheet, and our oven is set to 300 degrees. And we're gonna put out probably about half of these. And you don't want these, so these are just snacks. You want a snack? So we're just going to spread these all out. And then the most difficult part of this is unwrapping all the Rollos. So you get your Rollos, open them up. You set them all on here, and then we'll show you what's next. See, you can be as organized as you want to be, or as disorganized as you want to be. Okay, just so you know, this is a 10.1 ounce bag of Rollos, and it made that many. How much is this? This is a 9 ounce bag of pretzels. Is plenty enough for a 10 ounce bag of Rollos if you need that sort of, hey, how much of what do I buy? But if you do it the normal way, you can use this and get 2 bags of Rollos to 1 bag of pretzels, and then you can double what we're making here. You'll see why in a minute. So now we're just going to pop these in the oven for about 4 minutes, just until the chocolate gets soft. Okay, so we're going to show you Sister's modification. Go ahead. She likes to make it a pretzel sandwich. So if you have anybody with a nut allergy, that's a good modification for it. And if not, you just squish down the nut of your choice. I would think, yeah, you're not supposed to touch the chocolate, darling. They're hot.
No, I touched the pan.
Oh. Yeah, so remember the pan's hot. Remind your children of that. But walnuts, pecans, maybe some salted almonds or something like that would be good just to go along the top. And we're just going to squish them all, and then we're going to set them to the side so they can cool, and that's it, you guys. I mean, these are super simple and easy. So if you have a lot that you need to make. I mean, you can just crank these out in no time. Good crowd pleasers either way. Either her little sandwich style. Scared to pick it up. Cute little sandwich style. Kind of reminds me of the cheese and peanut butter crackers that kids absolutely love. So this is like your sweet version. And you see what we're doing? We discussed ahead of time what percentage of sandwich ones versus nut ones that we wanted. So we're doing half and half. And we might end up having to do at least one more batch of these, because I don't think this is going to be enough. Because I plan on sharing these with at least a few people. But aren't they cute? Cute little sandwiches. So we're going to put those to cool and do our next project. Also, one thing I didn't tell you is that sister last year put sprinkles on those sandwich cookies as well, like red sprinkles on some and green sprinkles on other, and it made it super cute for the holidays as well. So give that a try. Okay, so our next recipe goes by many names, and many families make this. I've heard it called Christmas crack. I've heard it called brickle, and this one is called saltine cracker toffee. And if I haven't mentioned, I will leave a link to all of these down in the description below the video. That way you can have the copy of the recipe for yourself. And I always recommend printing them out, and that way you can make all of your adjustments. If you need to double or triple this, however you need to, that way you just already have it out to the side and you know what those are for future reference. And I also do like a 5-star rating. If everybody loves it, it gets 5 stars. If somebody wasn't too fond of it, it gets 4, and so on, like that, so I know if it's worth making again. Anyway, let's do this. Okay, so first thing, you want to have a cookie sheet lined with foil, and I'm also going to spray it. And I might be 1.5 timesing this. I don't really know yet, because for some reason sister can't find my other big cookie sheet, so we're going to use the little weird cookie sheet. But I'll let you know what the ingredients call for. It's 4 ounces of saltine crackers, and you place all those all along edge to edge. You can half this recipe, you can quadruple this recipe. It's super easy, and everybody seems to love this. I don't think I've ever met anybody who doesn't love this. And it freezes well. So for me, we're able to come in here and make these whenever we have time to, and then we can just pop things like this in the freezer, which I think we froze the Rollo turtles too, didn't we? Yeah. Okay, so we froze those last year, and I think they were fine. Okay, this is weird. That was about 4 ounces, because the whole box is 16 ounces, half is 8, so this is 4 ounces. So this is 4 ounces of crackers, looks like. I guess this is a quarter sheet. I don't know. I don't know what size this is. Just know that your crackers might not fit with the ingredients, and you can adjust accordingly. It's pretty forgiving if you make the different adjustments. But just for fun, we'll also see if 4 ounces fit on this size, which it has no size. This is a small one. Okay? Elbow to hand, small size. And we'll show you how that one works out. Okay, so the smaller cookie sheet, where she's broken all of them up to the edges, leaves this many, which might be exactly what we need to fill up the spots in this size. And then we can see if we just need to double the recipe. Just in case you don't understand how that works. 1 pack of crackers per recipe, and it's, look, yeah, look, all we have is this little gap right here, and then we have these crackers left, so we'll just put them through here, and then we know we need to double our recipe. Okay, well, now we have a saucepan, and the recipe calls for 1 cup of butter, but we're doubling it, so we have 2 cups of butter in here, and we're going to put that with 1 cup per recipe of brown sugar. So there's her 1 cup. She needs to add 1 more since we're doubling. Alright, we're going to turn that heat on, Probably medium high for the minute. And we're going to bring it to a boil and stir it. Do not walk away from this. Stir it and cook it for 3 minutes, and we'll show you what it should look like. And if you're like us and don't have enough butter defrosted again, you can throw in some frozen butter. It just takes a little longer to come up to temperature and get the rest of it melted. So 2 of them were in the fridge and 2 of them were in the freezer. It's getting a whole heck of a lot thicker. It's still not quite ready yet, but it's absolutely lovely to watch and stir. And you always want to be very, very careful when you're using any sort of hot sugars, because it is lava. It sticks to your skin and you can't get it off as it sits there and burns. So just take care when you're making this kind of recipe. Alright, so that's been cooking for 3 minutes, and this is absolutely lovely. So we're just going to pour it around. And sister's got that offset spatula where she's just going to spread it evenly all over. And come back through and do this side. I want to make sure I had some for our little pan. Your edges going pretty good? Are you going to need more?
I don't think so.
Okay. This is definitely not low carb, low calorie food for show.
If you had a tiny bit more, that'd be great.
Sure. Perfect? Wonderful. Alright. So we're just going to get this all spread out, and then we're going to pop this in the oven, I believe. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
What temp?
400.
Ooh, we didn't preheat our oven. So we're going to get that in 400-degree oven, both of them. That's good. For 5 to 6 minutes. 400-degree oven, 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, don't be like me. I think I sloshed this pan in there a little bit so all the crackers floated and moved around, but this one I did just fine. So now you're going to need 1 package or 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips per recipe, and you're just going to sprinkle them all over so they can melt. Alright, you're going to leave it for a few minutes and let them melt on all of that super, super hot stuff. And then you're going to take your offset spatula and do the same thing. Just smear it all over. Some are starting to get shiny where they're melting, and the other ones just look like they did kind of chalky looking coming out the bag. You want to wait until they all look kind of shiny, and then you can start smearing all your lovely chocolate goodness everywhere. Alright, sister, see? Some of them still might need a little bit of time. Try not to move the crackers around too much, because I already did all that.
Yeah, like you did.
I want to show you something. Instead of going in like that, you want to kind of smooth this way. See how it's leveled up this way? And then smooth this way with it leveled that way. Does that make sense? Smoothing this way, smoothing this way. That way it only moves what you actually are wanting it to. Oh, that's lovely. I'm so proud of you for using your left hand, your right hand. Do you love it?
Not using my right hand.
Not using your right hand, but do you love this recipe?
Yes.
Yeah. Use your left. Just use your left. It's painful. Oh, that's much more satisfying. There you go. Looking gorgeous. Okay, we have one more ingredient that we want to put on here. If you're a nut lover, if you're not a nut lover, please omit this next step. But we have some chopped walnuts we're going to put on, and they're quite large chopped walnuts. And you can use chopped pecans or slivered almonds or anything like that. Pistachio would probably be really good. Like salted pistachio. That looks lovely. Now we're going to set that to cool for probably 25-35 minutes. Alright, so these have been in the fridge for quite a while. And this one we realized we hadn't sprayed, but it's coming off good anyway. Let's see if we can get it to break up even though it's rather cold. You just go through and break it up into whatever size piece that you want. Something about like that. That way somebody can have a couple of bites out of it. And then we're going to put these in an airtight container, and you can keep them in the fridge. As long as your house isn't warm like ours is here, you can set them out. You just don't want the chocolate melting and getting all gooey. And I'm going to put most of these in the freezer so they are ready when we're ready for them. But let's do a little quick taste test. I had to get a piece with a few nuts on it. Oh my gosh. Y'all, have you ever had a Skor bar? That's like a Skor bar with nuts on top. Oh yeah, that's a homemade Skor bar. If you know what those are. If you're a Skor bar lover, hit me up in the comments because I love Skor bars. And these are delicious. Okay, but anyway, we're going to get to our next project, and it is going to be super, super easy. But I'm going to get these packaged up and out of the way because we need a cookie sheet for this next project. And it's got 3 ingredients. It will take just a few minutes. Active time. And then there's passive time. I mean, quick, easy, simple, delicious recipe. Quick little side note that I had noticed. I think next time I do this, we're going to just go through with our hand and squish our nuts in to the chocolate a little bit more because they're not in there good enough. They're kind of, some are staying, some are coming off, but that's okay. We'll just grab some nuts with our piece. But if I do it again, I'm going to squish them in, or maybe chop them up a little bit smaller and then squish them in. However you can do just to get them to stick a little bit better. Okay, next up might be the absolute easiest recipe today. And it is an all-time favorite mixture of flavors. It's the white chocolate peppermint bark. And it is melt in your mouth, screams Christmas. It's just lovely. To start, you need 12 full-size, which this is not, 12 full-size candy canes. And I'm just working on right now taking them out of the plastic, and I'll show you how to get them smashed up real good. And I do not have 12 of these, so I'll show you what I do instead. I have this box of the soft peppermints, and our family loves these peppermints. And last year I decided to do a blend of the candy cane and these, and that was perfection. So some melt in your mouth, some are a little crunchy. Perfect. Alright, now we need 2 11-ounce bags, but these are 12-ounce, of white chocolate chips. It recommends Ghirardelli, but I actually have these in my pantry, so I'm going to use these up. And we're just going to get these poured into a microwave safe bowl, and we're going to slowly and carefully melt these so we don't scald them. And that can be working while I finish opening up some more peppermints for this bag. And this right here is the best thing ever. Put them all in a Ziploc bag. Get something heavy like your rolling pin and bash them until they are in the size pieces that you want them to be in. Alright, so I'm going to reuse the same pan that I took off our Christmas crack or brickle or whatever you want to call it. That way we don't have to wash it so many times. And it used foil itself, so I'm just going to use foil again to make cleanup a lot easier. And hopefully keep any of this from sticking. The recipe recommends doing your microwave at 50% power for 3 minutes I don't do that. This is 1 minute at full power. And I'll just go through and stir them probably about every minute and just keep checking on them because I don't want to worry about them in the microwave for 3 minutes. Alright, this is after 2 minutes in the microwave and they are really starting to soften up now. We're just going to get them mixed up and we're probably going to go 1 more minute. This is a good way to get out any anger or frustrations you might have going on. So Sister has volunteered to do this for us. Alright, this is after 3 minutes in the microwave, but we did set it and let it just sit in there for like half a minute while we were grabbing other things. So we're going to let it go just a little bit more. I still see a little bit of chunks, and then this is going to be ready. We're almost done. Well, I go in to stir this again, and my spatula said no thank you. So once I fish that out and find another spatula, we'll see if it's done now. Okay, next step, we're going to need 1/4 a teaspoon of peppermint oil, which is different from what I have of the peppermint extract. So I'm just going to put a couple of drops of this because this is more potent. And then I'm going to just get that mixed up. Now here's where you want to work pretty quick. Sister, are those things done?
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a head start with the firmer spatula. So we've got some food coloring. It's not red. We'd prefer red. It shows pink. We're going to see if we can get it out. Ooh, it might be red.
Can I do it?
Sure. Go quick.
How do I do it?
With this. Now stick it in.
What do you mean?
I mean, stick this in.
Oh.
And go like that. We're making it as thin as we can. Probably about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch thick. You gotta move faster than that, girlfriend.
Well, the camera's
Don't worry
in my way.
about going to the edge. We just want to smear as fast as we can so our chocolate doesn't set while we're doing this. And the recipe wants you to mix your peppermints in with your white chocolate. But I don't do that. I want to be able to see the peppermint. So we just sprinkle it along the top.
Can I start sprinkling?
Absolutely. And I think last year we just used almond bark for this, and that was really good.
What's almond bark?
I don't really know what that is. It's not really chocolate. But it's something you use to make candies. It's the ones that's the log. We actually have like half a block,
yeah,
so we can make a whole nother batch of this too. So I'm going to just go through and squish it in. Alright, so now we're going to let this cool. I don't know if they say refrigerate until set, 30 minutes to overnight, and then you break it into pieces and store in an airtight container. So we'll be back to show you what this looks like once it's set. Okay, so as you see, that is the simplest recipe, and honestly, the amount of peppermints it calls for is way too much for us. If you want it chock full of peppermints where you mix it all in and then spread it out and it just to be thick with peppermint, that's fine, but we like the thinner white chocolate with peppermints dotted on, plus the peppermint flavor that we add into it. And that's just how we like it. You can do it how you want. You can make it thicker if you want it to be. Make it thicker and then make smaller pieces. We usually do thinner and then wider pieces. But we do have some almond bark, so I'll go ahead and let her make a whole nother batch of that. Plus we're probably just going to run out of the stuff because so many people, although me and sister aren't that much fans of white chocolate peppermint, the people that we do know and love are huge fans of it, so we want to make sure they have plenty of it. So we will, off camera, make a whole nother batch with the leftover almond bark that I have, because I don't want it sitting around going to waste, or the peppermints as well. But just remember, 2 bags of the white chocolate, probably 4 to 6 candy canes is plenty if you just want to sprinkle it along the top. Okay, so now we're going to do what is it's a recipe that is new to us, and for some reason sister's calling it ChowChow. I wrote Choco/coconut macaroons, so I guess girl sees ChowChow, so we may now call this ChowChow. But it's chocolate coconut macaroons, and we saw somebody make these. I can't remember who it was, and I just kind of jotted down the ingredients. They didn't have a website or anything to print off the recipe, so I will try to remember to write this out for you guys down in the description. But from the ingredients and what I saw, it sounds really good, so we're going to test it out for you and see how it works. So if you're a coconut lover like me and sister, then this is probably going to be the recipe for you. We're going to use this whole bag. It's a 14-ounce bag. I don't know if this is the right size or not, but this is what we're going to go with. And we're just going to dump it all into this bowl. And we just so happen to have a similar shaped bowl that the people had, so I just marked it as a not so full bowl of nuts. So I'm going to measure these out and try to get you a better idea of how much we're putting in. There's about a cup. So this looks like about a cup and a quarter. I don't think a cup and a half would hurt. Alright, now we need what they say a splash of vanilla. So I would say probably a teaspoon, maybe half a teaspoon if you're worried about it being too strong. And then we need to add a whole can of sweetened condensed milk. Now, while she's finishing scraping out that can, I'm going to add 2 egg whites. Hey, were those little bitty new layer eggs or?
New layer.
Do you think that's enough? Because their eggs aren't quite as big.
Do 1 more.
Okay, we're going to do 1 more since we had some little bitty eggs. Alright, now we're going to get all this stirred up, and we do have the oven set to 325. You want to stir, sister?
Yeah.
Go for it. Alright, sister's decided this recipe needs more nuts, so we'll probably get another 1/4 cup or so put in here. So about 1.5 cups of nuts is what we're going to be at. Alright, next up, we're just going to use a small cookie scoop. This is probably about 1.5 inches across. And we're going to just get it dolloped out. Alright, we're just going to pop these in the oven for about 20 minutes. While they're in the oven, I have some Dove dark chocolate that needs to be used up. I usually would probably use some like semi-sweet chocolate chips, and we thought we would have some extra from another recipe, but we didn't. So I'm going to use what we have, and coconut and dark chocolate is always a win. So we're going to open these up and have them start melting slowly as well. That's after 2 30-second rounds. It's looking delish. Okay, once you get it about that consistency, sister. After you mix it up, let's just set it in the microwave so we don't have to remelt the chocolate for when they're done. Okay, so here's what they look like coming out. They're golden around the edges and all over the peaks. And we'll show you what we need to do next. Also, you can definitely use a smaller cookie scoop because these are going to be about 2 bites, maybe 2.5 bites. And that's just the smallest cookie scoop I have. But if you have a smaller one, do that. And then they'll be more like the little ones you get out of the chocolate boxes. Okay, so I didn't even think about the fact that we didn't add anything to this chocolate. And it's not really a melting chocolate. So we're going to try a little bit of oil. And I don't know if that will set on the macaroons or not. If you know what we should add to this, please let me know down in the comments, because we just want to get these drizzled so sister can try them. Okay, so now we do have our chocolate to the drizzly consistency that we want. So we're just going to bring a little bit, and y'all don't mind my cat. For some reason he's going hoarse. Well, we're going to glob, because even this probably is a little less than a drizzle. Well, some of it's drizzling. But you just want to drizzle. You want to just
more on the spoon ball.
Drizzle as much as you want. If you want a lot of chocolate, then feel free to dunk them or put just big blobs on them and let it drip down the sides, however you want to do it. But once this is cooled off, sister is chomping at the bit wanting to try these, and she also wants to drizzle or blob. We're going to try one with a blob. Don't forget we have one more pan in the oven and that little sheet over there too. So these aren't going to be gorgeous, but I bet they're going to be delicious. So sister is going to finish, and she needs to make a little bit more dark chocolate because she went a little extra on her chocolate. And we have just a few more left in the oven. And I think that's going to be it for us tonight. We'll pick up tomorrow and show you at least one more recipe, possibly 2. There might be a surprise for those who stay to the end. That's what they look like. All nice and delicious, and we're gonna taste it. Okay, dip just a tiny bit for me. These look really good. What do you think? Toasted coconut. You can taste that sweetened condensed milk in there. I would probably even add just a little bit more vanilla next time. But I think that's good. I think we can definitely work with that, right? And of course we would prefer the semi-sweet chocolate chips or something like that. Or just our favorite chocolate bar melted down somehow. If you have tips for what we could do better with our little chocolate drizzle, let us know. That was just on a whim. And we're tired. So I'm going to cook and we're going to finish up things later on. Well, looks like my audio went missing for this clip, so we're just going to do it now. So this is what the peppermint bark looks like once it's set, and looks even neat on the other side. And thankfully I squished all the peppermints in. It's decent. They're staying on there pretty good. I'm just going to crack this all up into whatever size pieces that I want. I am going to do some little pieces and some big pieces. That way if somebody wants to try just a small piece, they have that option. And I am personally going to put this in a airtight container and then stick it in my freezer, as this stuff freezes so good. Or you could just stick it in a Christmas tin. And I need to remember to get some more food dye, y'all. Let me know if y'all have a brand that y'all prefer of food dye. That way I can get myself a whole nother set. Even though it's not my favorite, and I know it's not my favorite, I'm going to taste it and make sure I didn't try to kill people with my peppermint oil. And that way I know. It is nice. It's just not the flavors that I go for. You get the white chocolate, you get the perfect amount of the peppermint kick from the actual peppermints and within the white chocolate. So my people who love this are going to be very, very excited that I made it again. That's the absolute great thing about doing all of these projects in advance, because then you know if you have enough, or if you go through and think you have enough but you want to give some more away, then you know if you have time to make more. So I love it. Highly recommend doing these things in advance, as many as possible, so you can always make extra to share and make people's days bright. Alright y'all, so next up is the first candy I ever made as a kid. So we've been making this for just years and years and years, hundreds of years. And we kind of had to put it off because we were having high humidity, and it's supposed to rain tomorrow and the next day, so it's either now or never, and it's getting quite late and I am dressed and ready for bed, so don't mind that. And if you know what I'm going to be making, pause this and let me know in the comments. So we're going to be making divinity. At least we're hoping to. So if you don't know, if you have high humidity, your candies might not set. So I think we're at like 50% right now. It's the best I'm going to get for a while. So we're going to give it a try and see how it goes. To start, we need 2 2/3 cup of just regular white sugar, and then we need 2/3 cup of light corn syrup, next we need a 1/2 cup of water. That's my 1/2 cup, but I'm not filling it up all the way because we're about 50% humidity. So I'm just doing about a tablespoon less of water, and we'll see if that will help our candy set. Okay, so we're going to put that on a low heat and continue to stir. And while we stand right beside it, watching it in a separate bowl, we're going to add 2 egg whites. And with my mixer and the whisk attachment, we're just going to beat this until we form soft peaks. Okay, see how whenever I lift it, there's like a little peak there, but it's not standing straight out, and in the bowl it also blops up and makes a peak, but it's not firm. See how it like flips over? That's a soft peak. Now we're just going to keep stirring this until all the sugar has melted and come up to temperature. We want it to reach 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 120 degrees Celsius. Or if you don't have a thermometer like me, because I can't find my candy thermometer, I'll show you what to do to make sure you've got to the right temperature. Now make sure you're going all the way to the bottom of this pot, because you don't want any of that sugar at the bottom to burn. And just keep it moving. And I put it on more like a medium low heat for my stove. And I'm going to just stand here and watch it. It shouldn't take too long. I just want to quickly point out, the recipe says to cook on low heat until it comes to a boil. Well, there ain't no way my stove cooking on low heat is ever going to bring anything up to a boil. So make your adjustments just like I have. I think I'm on medium-high heat now. Just continuously stirring, waiting for that boil so we can do our next step. Alright, it came to a boil. Now we want to continue cooking without stirring until it reaches that 250. And how we're going to test it is with a bowl of cold water. So we'll just take it and then put in a drop. See how it disappears? It's not done. The color has changed a little bit, not too much. Alright, starting to smell toasty in here. Let's try it again. It's definitely starting to form semi-ball shapes, so we want it to form a rigid ball. See how I can pull that apart? So not quite. Alright, let's test again. It's getting harder to drip off the spoon. Let it sit for a minute. Oh, that's definitely getting harder. See how it just changes? Now it's more pliable where I can form it back, but it's not stretching apart. Alright, I think we are there. Even the bubbles have changed. They're not so loud. It's definitely balling up in there. Not spreading at all. I think we are good. Now you should definitely have a bigger bowl than I do, because you're supposed to start pouring this into here while you're mixing. Really? But I didn't have another bigger bowl, so I'm going to temper the eggs a little bit and then I'm going to put them back in there and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, hopefully that's good. Get this out of my way. And then we're just going to add the egg whites in while we beat it slowly through here. And you want to kind of go quickly through this process. And do not let any of that stuff touch you. Alright, now we're going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla, and we're going to beat this until it starts holding its shape a little bit and it'll begin to lose a gloss. Can you see how it's starting to trail whenever I'm going around? It's starting to get a little bit thicker, so we might be in luck. Just keep going. It still has a bit of a gloss to it, so I'm going to keep going and we're going to scrape down those edges as well. Okay, so it is definitely starting to hold its shape. So now we're going to stir in 3/4 of a cup of walnuts.
So once it's made, it doesn't make no difference to the humidity?
It does. But at this point, it's starting to set. So that's what I'm looking for. Alright, so that's what we're looking for. I have a parchment paper set out on the counter, and we're going to go get them spooned out so they can set. Alright, so we're going to take 2 spoons and grease them with some spray oil. And then we're just going to take this, and whatever size you want to do, and just blop it out. And I would say this is definitely a win, because it is already staying in the shape and doing everything I want. If it doesn't ever start getting to this texture, and you just beat it and beat it and beat it, it might have been just too humid. It'll still taste good. It's just going to be puddly. Alright, that's how much it's made. And they're looking really good. They're already starting to set. And I don't think I've ever had one set so quickly and firm up in the pot like that. So it might have went a little bit over, but at least it's setting and not a puddle. And you want to let these sit for at least 12 hours. And then you just pop them in an airtight container to store them. Okay, y'all, the divinity is ready for a taste test. Well, if it's not, we are. We want to get it packed up soon. Because I think it's set. And it might have been overdone, so it could be rock hard. Watch your teeth, y'all. Mmm.
I don't like that.
You haven't even eaten it. It's supposed to be a little bit softer than this, so I really need to find a candy thermometer, but I'd much rather it be like this than a pot full of soup.
I think it's fine. It's really, really sweet.
It is rich and decadent. It's something that you're going to eat one of and be like, oh, I can't eat any more of that. Y'all saw how much sugar went into it. Do you hate it, sister?
No, but there's so much sugar in that.
Oh, is it too sweet for you?
No, I feel my teeth going on edge.
Yeah, that's why I'm not eating anymore.
Mmm. I love it. Those things that are super sweet, I really like. I like brownies.
Do you like the nuts?
You don't. Yeah, they're delicious. Maybe we could do like salted, roasted walnuts in there.
Why did you look at me
You
like
put a little
that,
salt to it to cut some of the sweet. Whatever it is.
Yeah, you can cut them into cores.
Okay, so if you don't like super, super sweet stuff, cut it. Make them smaller.
If it was like salted caramel, like that would be the flavor, that'd be so good.
But
That's
pistachio.
something completely different. Pistachio would be good. This is a nougat-ish type of thing. Just so you know.
It's almost like a
It's
fudge.
not as that. Yeah. Fudge is a good way to describe it.
A super sweet fudge.
Okay, so we might have a surprise for y'all at the end of this video. Instead of 5, it might be a 6. But it's a secret. Okay, so if you've watched this far into the video, I have a very special treat for you guys. This guy is going to be making the last treat for us. And him and my daughter make this every year. It's kind of their Christmas tradition that they've made along the years. And it's Millionaire
Shortbread.
Shortbread.
Really expensive Twix.
Yeah, really expensive Twix, but it's worth putting in the effort because it's way better than a Twix.
Right. So this is the Millionaire Shortcake. So it's 3 layers. We're going to make the shortbread layer first. I'm going to pass this little one all the ingredients. We'd like a proper cooking show, so we actually got all the ingredients ready. Leveled out lovely. You ready? Right, first one is that 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And then we need a 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar, but we only have light, so we could turn the lights off. It would make it darker. Maybe we'll try that trick later. No? Oh. 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Yes. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt. A generous pinch, in other words. Generous. Not that generous. It's
Oh
way
my
too much.
gosh,
Do not put
sister.
that in and you get a good pinch of it.
Show me. Show me.
Don't you dare
Come
put that
show
in
me
there.
how much you just put in your
You
hand.
said a generous
A generous, how big are your fingers? Are you giant or something?
That's more like a teaspoon and a half.
Okay, so that was half a cup, not 1 cup, my bad. 1 large egg yolk, which these are small eggs, so we'll do 2. We should have put the butter in after we'd mixed everything together, so now we have to pull the butter out.
Butter bits.
Yeah, butter bits. Right, now we're going to blend this all together until the sugar is not in lumps.
Are we
So
creaming it together? Are we creaming it?
1 homogeneous lump.
Okay. I don't know about y'all, but I was a little confused, so I had to come and see. They're not creaming it together because they had to take the butter out. So they're just mixing the egg with the sugar into the mixer and getting it thoroughly combined. So it's just well combined like that.
Alright, now we're going to add the butter and pulse until, and pulse means on and off every now and again, right? Until it blends, forms lumps. Until moist clumps form. And pulse.
So why'd you say to use the mixer?
Let's do it by hand.
Y'all,
In that lovely thing there.
so they had to learn that you don't pulse a KitchenAid, and I kind of guessed that it would be a food processor that you should do this in.
That's fine. We'll work it out. I usually do it by hand.
Okay, so he's just going to do it by hand. You just want to get it where the butter is mixed in really well. It'll make little lumpy bits with your butter. You don't want it to get hot either, so it starts melting. So you just want it to be small clumps. So they're just going to take the fork in and just start mushing the butter. They're cutting the butter in is what they're doing.
Alright, the recipe says to use aluminum foil to line the pan, which is complete waste. You just have to get the butter wrapper from what you used earlier on and just smear around. And it's not going to stick. If it sticks a little bit, it's going to be nothing.
Get all your corners and edges all greased up.
Save some money, save the environment.
There you go.
Tablespoon of ice cold water, because it's very important that that doesn't get too hot.
In here?
Yes. And then fork that into the mixture. It's a formed dough, so you do have to push it in there. You can't just roll it in there. You have to push
So
it
it'll
in
be
there.
kind of crumbly, and then
Yeah.
we need to push it in.
Right, now that that mixture has come together, put it into the bowl, into the pan, and that, and use the fork to squish it around so it's even across the bottom. And then you can use your fingers.
So why do you use the fork and then your fingers?
The whole step of using the cold water is to keep it cold. So if you put your fingers all over it, it's making it warm. And you don't want the butter to actually melt before you stick it in the oven.
Why don't you want the butter to melt?
I don't know. This is how you do it.
Is that when that butter heats up in the oven, within the dough, that's what forms a crusty, flaky, good deliciousness.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Okay, so you can smooth it off if you want to. Leaving the ridges, I think, is not too bad because it allows the caramel to have something to stick to. But what you do need to do is put fork holes everywhere. Okay, so the oven's been preheating as we've been cooking, as we've been getting the ingredients ready to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It should look roughly like this. We're going to put it in there. Okay, for 20 minutes. It says about 20 minutes, so you don't wait for it to get brown. You wait for it to get brown, it's too much.
So what should it look like?
Really go by the time. It's going to look like it's not cooked. It's going to feel like it's not cooked, but it firms up.
Okay.
Okay, so what you want to be looking for is the brownness around the edges. You really can't tell by touching this, because if it's soft, it will feel like it's not cooked, but it is cooked. If you leave it too long, it will get too hard. It'll go like a brick.
So it gets more firm as it cools.
Yeah.
So just a little tiny golden brown around the edges.
Yeah, you really can't tell by the temperature.
Okay.
Okay, so the shortbread layer is done. We're now going to put the ingredients together for the caramel. Caramel, we call it in England. What do you call it? Caramel?
I say caramel.
Oh, caramel is what we say. So I'm going to pass in the sister. She's going to pour them in there, and then we're going to heat it up. We're meant to have a candy thermometer. You can kind of see by eye what the colour turns out. You do again. You want it to be like a beige colour. You do not want it to be too dark, because the darker it gets, the thicker it gets. It'll go like toffee.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to put all of this in a small. It says medium pot, but you might as well just use a small one. There's not much of a mixture. Over a medium heat. 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk.
So this whole thing?
Yes. Half a cup of light brown sugar. 6 tablespoons of butter. That bit. Two tablespoons of light corn syrup. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Should be vanilla extract, but we have the proper stuff. Now put all that on a medium heat. Bring to a boil and stir constantly, because it will burn.
Mmm, that looks delicious. And it's calorie free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely changed color a little bit.
It has, it just no change.
But it's not quite ready.
No.
So you want to make sure you keep going and stirring and stirring and stirring, getting all the edges and the bottom and around the pan and everything, just like he's doing. Alright, that's deepened a little bit more. It's not going to look like caramel, but it's going to have a caramel tone to it from what it started at.
So if you look, we're trying to see to make sure. You can take it off. You can see it skims a little bit, but when you hold it like this, it all stays there. And that's when it's still hot, so when it gets cooler, it will really form good. Alright, we go ahead and pour this and then smooth it out over the surface of the shortbread. That lovely caramel goodness.
Caramel.
It's caramel.
It's caramel. I think we should definitely do a he says, she says video.
Right, now just spread it out. It will find its own level, because remember, this is still kind of a little bit hot. Even Coco wants some.
She always wants it. Anytime we're in here making anything, she thinks it's for her.
And if it does stick to the side, we should stick a little bit. The knife will cut it off easy. Okay, so now we just leave it in the pan. We leave it 15 minutes to set. We'll get a little bit colder, and then we can pour the chocolate on top. Recipe calls for a dark chocolate, unsweetened chocolate. I like to use milk chocolate. It tastes way better, I think.
And what is that?
That's just Hershey's Symphony.
Sister?
Not English chocolate.
Unfortunately.
It's not too bad.
And what size is that? 7.37 ounces. How many do you use?
I use 2.
Okay.
So you're going to put your chocolate in a microwavable safe container. Then you put your chocolate into the microwave for 20 seconds. Then you take it out and stir it, and then you put it in the microwave for 20 more seconds until it's about 75% melted.
Thanks.
Now you let it sit so that the heat from the chocolate melts the rest of the chocolate down.
Okay, so gently spread the chocolate so you don't disturb the caramel layer. Okay, so it's really hot still. They say to put it straight into the fridge, but don't do that because it's going to raise the temperature of the fridge. So just leave it on the side till it cools off a little bit, then put it in the fridge just so it sets the concrete. So it sets the chocolate. Although this chocolate will set anyway, it just makes it a little bit quicker.
So how long do you leave it in the fridge?
Until it gets cold.
Just until?
Yeah. Right, so it's the best time of cooking, and as far as I'm concerned anyway. We got some lovely layers going on.
Oh yeah.
Now what I did forget, what you need to do if you're going to do this is the chocolate layer, put little lines down there, score it before you put it in the fridge, because it was very difficult to try and get it to cut, especially when it's being cold.
What?
I thought they were eating stuff before me.
She was.
Right, we're going to try it?
Yeah. Mmm.
That caramel is good.
Oh. This is straight out of the fridge too. And it is lovely.
Mmm. Oh, I like that caramel layer, it's good.
Mmm. Y'all. Please make this.
Oh, it's so good.
So good. The chocolate is perfect. That symphony chocolate is really good. Caramel layer is fantastic. And that short crust pastry, not short crust, shortbread is crumbly and buttery deliciousness. Great job, you two. Y'all know what y'all are doing. So, I will link the recipes below. Please print them out, try them out for yourself, and let us know how they worked for you and if your family loves them. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the bell for more lovely, delicious recipes from me and my family. Until next time, love you, bye-bye. Hey, y'all. Hi, everybody. We're here. Gonna, I don't even know. You threw me off with whatever that is you just did. Can you see? Okay, coming close. That's
close?
too close.
Girl! Get out. Why?
What you doing, sister?
Eating pretzels with chocolate.
Are you the cleanup crew? Is that how you clean up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You could also chew it and then dribble.
What?
You can chew the chocolate and then dribble onto the macaroons.
That's disgusting.
Can I do some?
All right. And if not, thanks so much for hanging out with me and my family and our culinary adventures through our holiday seasons.
Colon?
If we eat too much, it'll be colon adventures.
Colon adventures? Culinary.
What is culinary?
No. Anyway. See you on the next one. Watch out for more Christmas videos, or if this is already close to Christmas, check out the other ones. We've got some great ideas for appetizers if you're looking for that. Cookies, candies, etc. And also around Thanksgiving I put some out. This girl is bugging. No more sugar. We're done. We're gonna put up all this sugar because this girl is done. Anyway, hit the bell if you want to find out whenever I post again, to be around and watch this nonsense. You better find it. Better get the grabber tool or something.
You better find it. It's literally in there.
Okay, so if you've watched this far into the video, shut up! And
Honey trouble is everybody takes it.
that's kind of the point, honey, is to make it and share it.
Camera's that way.
I hate having it that way because I look this way.
Stand here and look that way.
Give her this.
Yeah, because you're just being silly.
She hasn't done enough baking to know, and for you, I would say a quarter teaspoon is nobody's good pinch. Oh my gosh, sister.
It's me.
Yeah, well for you it might be a good pinch, but other people should
Yeah,
absolutely
you don't see my fingers.
Turn your ass back.
should absolutely measure it out. Quarter teaspoon salt.
Yes. Alright, 1 stick of butter, or 1 cup of butter, cut into 1/2-inch pieces. Yes it is.
No,
No, it isn't. No.
You don't touch those.
No. Have you lost your mind?
see it. It's
That girl just put butter on my Christmas.
girl, you can't
Rag.
even see it.
There is a rule that you are not allowed to touch people's Christmas rags or any sort of decorative rag. You touch the ugly regular ones.
Touch the butter again?
Huh?
What's
I'll
going
do it.
on?
Nothing. Just don't watch this part. This is a technical difficulties. Why you still watching? Quick, sister, take the butter. Okay, we should.
Why did you tell me to put the butter in?
Because you distracted me and I wasn't reading the instructions. Sorry.
Oh, what the? What? Why do you keep saying it's my fault?
It is.
That was you.
No, it wasn't.
No, you gotta know accurately.
Well, I don't know. He's weird like that.
You have a spatula in your hand.
The longest, slowest pour ever. She's not gonna talk.
I'm just holding it. I don't know what you want me to say.
So, okay, we have 2 bars of the Hershey Symphony chocolate in here. We're just going to put it in the microwave 20 seconds at a time. Don't melt it until it's completely melted because it will freeze the chocolate.
What?
What?
You have to.
Wait a minute. You let it sit out on the counter after you've put it in there for 20 seconds. So.
What?
Alright, it's my favourite part of cooking. And let's try out the loveliness. So you can see the layers on there. Now what we did do, we forgot to score the top of the chocolate before it's set. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. Just score some lines down so you can actually.
You should be in the thing. You're talking. You need to be in it.
Why is it? It may as well like really bright.